In this review we're going to access some different models, and that's because these are models of access platforms. They are both XCMG machines. The XGA16 has an articulated and partly telescopic boom, and is also the much bigger XGS30, which has a telescopic boom. Both of these models are in the common scale for Chinese machines, and that is 1:35. The packaging for both models is very similar, and once the box is removed, we have a pair of expanded polystyrene trays which are factory sealed. That gives us the chance to practice our knife skills as we cut the factory tape. Inside, the model is protected by soft paper. And there's no assembly to do because both models are complete out of the box. Before we start, just a reminder that you can see a lot more about models on the Cranes Etc. website, and the link to it is in the video description below. Also, if you want to know where you can buy scale models, then you can click on links on the website, including those in the shopping mall. And listed here are dealers that sell models in countries across the world. Starting with the XGA16, and underneath it's fairly simple, and the model has a high metal content. There are decent looking tyres on the wheels, and underneath the basket there's also the structure modelled. There are small graphics applied on the fixed axle, and the wheels are pretty good with some nice detailing. There are also towing or lifting lugs which are properly formed. Looking at the nicely curved body, it's formed well, and there are some nice sharp graphics. That continues on to the control panel, which is really very nicely detailed. The modelling of the boom and the hydraulics is fairly simple, there are no hydraulic hoses. And moving on to the basket, it is an all-metal part, and there are some nice graphics on it. There's a space for where the controls can clip on, and the floor of the basket has a slightly textured surface. The XGS30 is to a very similar standard. The carrier is of metal construction with some simple detailing, and the tyres and wheels on this model are bigger. But again, there is some nice detailing of the wheels, and the detailing of the carrier frame includes formed lugs, and on the sides of the frame there are graphics and also a small toolbox. On the counterweight there are some sharp small graphics, and it's nice the way the XCMG name is embossed. This model also benefits from a very nicely detailed control panel, and although the telescopic boom is fairly simple, there are some sharp graphics on it. The basket on the XGS30 is of a similar standard to the other one. It's all metal, there are graphics and a textured floor. Moving back to the XGA16, and the wheels all rotate independently, and it does have steering on one of the axles. As you can see, the range of movement is pretty good, and the steering has a nice stiffness. Out on the Cranes Etc. test track we can race it along, and if you like twisting and turning we can set the steering, and you can see that the machine is nice and manoeuvrable. The model rotates well, it's smooth without any jerkiness, so the operator won't be thrown out of the basket. The basket gets raised on its articulated boom, and the rams can hold most positions but not all. The basket raises up to a decent height, and depending on how it's set you can alter the basket position. You can level it up, and you can also rotate it from side to side. The machine also has another feature to improve its flexibility, and that is the top section is telescopic to extend the reach. Let's now do a quick dim check to see what height the model can reach. And to the top of the basket handrails it's about 40 centimeters or nearly 16 inches. The XGS30 also has wheels that spin independently, but it is a different arrangement because both axles steer, and they do that independently so you can set any steering mode. Back out on the test track, and this is quite a heavy model so it rolls very smoothly, and because of the double steering we get a very tight turning circle. Again, on this model the rotation is nicely engineered, It's nice and smooth with no rocking. This machine has a long telescopic boom and it's raised on a hydraulic ram, and that ram has got just a nice stiffness to be able to hold any pose. The maximum angle of elevation is also pretty decent. There is a full range of movement for the basket. It rotates fully from side to side, and there's a hydraulic ram which controls the angle of the basket so it can always be set level. The boom is telescopic and it's made up of 3 separate sections, and on the review model there was some initial stiffness to the sections sliding. But once they get going they're fine, and there are locking clips at full extension. This is quite a big model, so it's time for another dim check. And to the top of the basket is about 71 centimeters or 28 inches. Another check we should do on this model is its stability, because there are no outriggers. It's perfectly stable over the side at no extension, but let's extend the telescopic boom fully and see what we have. And as you can see, at this rough angle of about 45 degrees, it's just about stable. Of course, the real machine might have extendable axles, but that's not modelled here. Another way we can display these models is as transport loads, and here we've got a low loader which is 1:32 scale. So it is slightly big compared to the access platform models, but it's passably good. It's nice to see some access platform models as they're not often represented. These ones made by Yagao are solid and robust, and they've got some nice details and reasonable functionality. They are in 1:35 scale, but if you like access platform models, then these ones are good.